Hey guys, I'm RozaldVane, and welcome back to another episode of VLR, or Virtue's Last Reward, or Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. Last episode, we basically were going through to the white door because apparently we needed to figure out where the last bomb is, the third bomb. Well, we don't know if it's the last bomb, but it's like the third bomb we know exists. And personally, I feel like we know exactly where it's at, which is in the laboratory. I don't know if that's true, though. That's the other question, is, like, would it remain in the same place, or would it be just a sort of like, depends on the situation, and we would find the second bomb in the laboratory. But anyways, we're looking for the bomb. We ended up in the white room area, the white door areas, and Fi is going to turn our attention to Memento Mori, the graffiti that's on the wall here in this warehouse, which she is going to go over, I guess, at this point. Graffiti. Oh, yeah, that. Memento Mori, if the ninth lion ate the sun. Did a kid write that or what?
どうして?
Well, they managed to spell ninth wrong. Who puts an E in there?
ああ、そうだな。
Then again, maybe it means something.
さあ、どうだろう。
I'm wondering if this is meant to be like, I'm wondering if this particular like poem is meant to be, like, I don't know what the password is, because there's a password that relates to this in the third playthrough that I was talking about, where the third playthrough we were stuck to a to be continued moment because we don't know what the password is for this. So having no no idea what it is, I'm wondering if this is the path that will help unlock that, because it is a secret password somewhere.
ところで、文章の意味はわかるか? 前半はラテン語なんだが。
In the Latin part? Hey now, give me a little credit. Even I know that Memento Mori means... I know what Memento Mori means. You see it all over the place. As far as I know, it translates to something like be aware of death, or remember your immortality, or your mortality. Never forget that we all die someday. I guess it's some sort of cautionary thing.
じゃあ後半の方は?
It's exactly what it says on the tin, right? Some sort of conditional about lions and suns. I mean, I'm wondering if the sun is a play on the idea that, like, it might be a... What is it? It's an onomatopoeia. It's like... Same words. I think it's like homophones. I think it's called homophones, which is like the same sounding word, but it's different spelling. So I'm guessing ate the sun, as in like S-O-N, but planetary sun, but a character who's kind of like a sun to one of the people. And I'm thinking it's like a play on idea of Quark, being that one of the characters is gonna sooner or later take Quark and like do something, I guess. Or that the idea is that the person has to acknowledge the death of Quark because he's meant to die. Like, it reminds me of like how like I don't think anybody likes the MCU as much nowadays, or maybe there are people still kind of like interested in the MCU, I guess. But it's a good reference because it's part of the comic book stuff, because the comic book also does it too, I think. Where, spoiler alert if you haven't seen any of the MCU movies, but if you don't care about it, I guess you can listen to it. The point is, like, in the MCU, in the comic book series, the idea of one of the people, like, so there's a character, I won't say who it is, but the idea is there, I guess. One of the character has to die, and he or she is, or they are meant to die in a particular way, or not particular way, just dying in general. Like, the character needs to die no matter what, and if you try to go back in time, or find an alternative universe with that character there, that character will still have to die no matter what. In any particular point in time, they will still have to die, or else the universe collapses, or the idea is that the universe will not hold still because it's not that the it's not that everyone is screwing up, but because that person is not dying, and that the universe does not like that, and so they had to collapse over each other. So this is the kind of idea I think that in this game, that the anomaly is the fact that if we're not having to have one of the characters die specifically by any means, then it's going to become a problem. And so I'm guessing memento mori means that it's reminding somebody of their time is due whenever it's due. But the fact that it's the sun, the lion eating the sun, means that the ninth lion, being like somebody in this group of the 9, needs to eliminate or to see the death of the son, of this person, of this character. That it's kind of like that kind of thing, I guess. I mean, it could be that. I mean, that's my theory in how this is all written out. The Milkman one on the freaking the above floor A, was like, I guess. But this one feels more particular, I feel like. It feels very more relatable in our situation versus the Milkman thing. Anything comes to mind?
いや、ない。全く。シグマの方こそ、どうなんだよ。
Me? Huh. Well, let's see. Memento mori if ninth lion ate the sun. Memento mori if the ninth lion ate the sun. This is the same exact scene from the password one, from the third playthrough. Because he keeps repeating it and trying to figure out what the password is, so he's just like trying to think of it. I repeated the words over and over in my head, but nothing. Whatever they meant, it was beyond me. But perhaps Phi. Latin.
Eh?
Don't you know Latin? Maybe we can figure more out of it. More of it out.
別に詳しいわけではない。人よりは少しだけ知識があるという程度だ。
Then how do you know that phrase? Elapsem semel occasionum non ipse potest lupiter reprehender.
ああ、あれか。
I don't know why we even have to pronounce that, but I mean, I'm butchering Latin. I'm sorry.
あれはこれだよ。
This? What is she gonna show? Excuse me. My throat is giving out when I start reading too much or talking too much, I guess. She unpinned the brooch from her chest as she spoke and held it out to me. I hesitated for a moment, then took it.
裏を見てくれ。
I turned it over. Oh. So, I'm not gonna read that again. I just read it already. Fine, I'll read it again. Lapsum semel occasionum non ipse potest lupiter reprehendir. I don't know what it means. So I guess the I is pronounced like a J in Latin. Really? Where's the... Or L, I mean. Not... Semej? Really? That's how you pronounce it? And then Jupiter? Oh, I see. I see why.
Ah.
What is this?
亡くなった母の形見なんだよ。
Is this potentially the password that I need to know? Really? How will I write this out so I can go back to the password then? Yeah, I'm wondering how this is gonna play out, because when I go back there, let's say since I've now figured out this, I wonder how the scene will play out if I go back there now after this.
いや、正確には形見らしきものと。
What did I just cut it off by accident? What does that mean?
母は私を産んでからすぐに亡くなってしまったんだ。
Oh. It's sad to hear like mothers giving birth and then dying while having the baby comes out. I mean, it's kind of sad that it happens, but it happens because like, yeah, it's just like nature in a way. Like sometimes the human body cannot withhold the stress that needs to push out the kid and have labor and stuff. It's kind of sad though, nonetheless. But I still wonder if Fi is Santa's kid, because in a weird way, Fi reminds me of Santa in a weird way. But I'm not certain if Fi is related to Santa in any way.
その後、私は養父母の下で育てられることになったんだが、その二人から聞いたんだよ。
But in another weird sense is that like Santa was also sort of an orphan's kid because his parents gave him up to the adoption alongside his sister, who's Akane from the previous game 999. Like both characters were fostered in a sense. So that means that Fi being fostered is a weird parallel to Santa in a way, I guess. But in the case of Fi, she gets adopted anyways because she has foster parents.
そのブローチが母の残した唯一の形見だって。
What about your father?
いない。
She never got to know him, I guess.
非嫡出子ってやつだ。
Oof.
顔もわからなければ名前も知らない。生きているのかどうかさえも。
Who knows? Oh. I couldn't think of anything else to say, so I just handed her back the brooch.
私にとっては呪文のような言葉だったんだ。小さい頃から何か決断に迫られた時にはいつでもあの言葉を唱えるようにしていた。繰り返し何度も何度も。そのうちにすっかりと覚えてしまって、ラテン語にも興味を持つようになって、それで勉強を。
Fair. That is a very fair reasoning to start learning Latin in some way. I mean, Latin is a hard language to learn, I feel like, because it's almost like nobody speaks Latin these days. But we do hear Latin like terms or phrases every now and then because to some degree it's the basis of what English is brought up as, and that's how we're communicating every time. It's like we're using the basis of Latin to communicate for the most part in English. Yeah, strange to think about, I guess. Yeah, the way she said Lupiter is Jupiter, but then it's like in a weird way. I think L should just be J, I think. I think that the L shouldn't be J at all. It should just be like the L. But I think there's a slight hint of J. Because it's just being spelled that way, I guess.
一度過ぎ去ってしまった機械は、ユピテルでさえも取り戻すことはできない。
I wonder if it's the password. I'm still confused what part of it is the username and which part of it is the password. Because technically that computer that we know of in the third playthrough technically needs a password and a username. But I'm wondering how you separate it out with these two.
いい言葉だろ。
Oh, maybe we use the Latin as the username, and the password is the translation of Latin. Maybe? We'll see. We will try.
だが、
when that time comes.
どうやら我々は、そのユピテルを超えてしまったようだな。だってそうだろ？
Huh.
我々は、一度過ぎ去ってしまった機会を、取り戻すことができるんだから。それが、お前を追ってきた理由だ。この件について、一度じっくりと二人で話し合った方がいいと、そう思ってな。
I mean, it's a good way to let me know in the alternate universe that, like, this might be the password to get out, or the move forward in that space. Yeah.
とはいえ、我々には他にもやらなければならないことがある。
Find the number 2 bomb.
そうだ。というわけでシグマ、移動しよう。この倉庫に爆弾はなさそうだ。隠せそうなところも見当たらない。だから。
You're saying we should go somewhere else.
ああ。ほら、何をポケットしてる。さっさと行くぞ。
Sure. Without waiting for his reply, she turned and started towards one of the exits. I followed. I wonder where she'll lead me. Will she lead me to a trap and into my demise? I mean, it could be. Like, she could have just ended me whenever she feels like soon. Where is this? Archives? Okay. I'm guessing the archives would carry some sort of information, right? Like some sort of data on something, maybe? Potentially? The archives. Good place to hide a bomb. Now where the hell do we start looking?
とにかく、手当たり次第に調べていくしかないだろう。
So what about that Jupiter stuff?
探しながらでもできる。手を止めずに聞いてくれ。
I think we're not gonna find anything anyways. I turned to a corner of the room and began to look while Phi spoke.
結論から言おう。どうやら我々の意識は時間を飛び越えることができるらしい。
Mm-hmm. Well, not time, but more like alternate universe. So mostly our consciousness mostly is being able to jump through space. Theoretical space, I'd say. Theoretical space / time. Because I wouldn't call parallel universe like time per se, but I guess maybe they are, but like we can call it space and time as well because there's a bit of space involved into it where our body kind of moves separately from each other. Like the weird thing to me is like or not the weird thing, the interesting thing to me was hearing what Einstein thinks of ghosts. I don't know if this is true or not because I haven't really I've only heard it from someone from school, but not so much as like, or was it from school? I think it was from another student, another classmate. He was just like, he or she was like, oh yeah, like Einstein said that like I don't believe in ghosts. Ghosts is kind of like a figment, an electrical electrons of the past, basically. Like they basically were like a electrical shock of the past that had like high energy, and the reason why people see like a sort of ghost-like character roaming about is like because of the electrons or the electromagnetic sort of force from the past was so heavy that it was able to reflect through a certain amount of time from then to the future, to some degree. So that was the theory, I think, from what I've heard. They didn't go into detail about how, or went into detail in how it was explained, how Einstein came up to it. I didn't really look into it deeply. I just only heard that, and I was just thinking, like, if it's in a molecular electrical style of like way that people can see through something, then I think it happens. But that's only if you have enough electro like power happening, I guess, at one point. Like, I don't know, like shock or something, like you're just being shocked or you're just like angry. I don't know, I don't really know exactly. It is an interesting thinking about it. Like, does human emotion when you're like when you're at the highest of your emotional EQ, like EQ as in emotional qualities, I guess, I don't know, like IQ, EQ, like if you're at the emotional power or the event, would that become a sort of power to where you have the most electrons and protons or whatever, like whatever molecules it is, that just starts energizing what you are experiencing in that moment and reflecting it into the future as a ghost? That is what I'm curious about still, but at the same time, it does play around with the idea that it's time, space, and maybe energy at the same time. So, if anything, our consciousness are able to jump through time, but I feel like it doesn't just do time. I think it does space as well as doing energy as well. Because we're sending energy to the next person to realize, hey, we've been through this, but in a different way.
いや、時間をというのは正確な表現ではないな。
Exactly my feelings. I feel like time alone is not enough.
正しくは世界をだ。
Worlds, yeah. Worlds. 世界。
そうだ。この場合の世界とは言うまでもなく、地理的なものを意味しているわけではない。今とは違う。別の歴史によって構成された世界。パラレルワールドのことだ。
What? なんで?
多世界解釈って聞いたことないか?
Well, kind of. I think I've heard of it once or twice.
なんとなくか。まあいい。一応説明しておこう。
Well, I mean, it's fine, I guess. It gives me a break from reading aloud constantly.
例えば、そうだな。
Yeah, at least it gives me a break from reading my voice, but yeah.
シグマ、何でもいいから、何か動作をしてくれないか? 頭をかくとか、腕を組むとか、腰に手を当ててみるとか。
Okay. I had no idea what this was supposed to explain, but I did as she asked. Why is there an option of others? Why not? Oh, I see, there's just more. Moonwalk? Moonwalk? What is this? Moonwalk? Tap dancing? I'll blow a kiss. I don't think I have any. Actually, no. What's the other ones? I wasn't really thinking about it. Okay, for some reason I thought, isn't applaud and cheer the same thing anyways? I guess applaud is just clap your hands, and cheer is just like woohoo kind of thing. You know what? I'll do cheer. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
何かいいことでもあったのか?
Well, no. You just told me to do something, so... Yeah.
まあいい。とにかくお前は今、万歳三唱したな。だが、お前の決断次第によっては、投げキッスをすることも、タップダンスをすることもできたはずだ。
I see. So she's using whatever that list of things she notices that I was gonna get close to doing, but I didn't choose to do. But blow a kiss? Tap dance?
いちいち細かいことを気にするな。あくまでも可能性の話だよ。もしかしたら、そうして別の動作を行ったシグマも、どこか他の世界に存在しているのかもしれない。
Yeah, did at least one of those choices, I guess.
要するに歴史が、世界が枝分かれしたということだ。
Yeah, but then that doesn't create a... Don't tell me it's gonna create a... Okay, it didn't create a flow. I thought it's gonna create, like, this weird branching of flow. all of which is, like, whatever. I feel like that's, like, a very simple thing, but it just forces the actress of 5, the voice actor for 5 to, like, read all those lines differently.
お前が今、その動作を行った刹那に。瞬間瞬間の人々の決断、行動、それらによって歴史は無数に枝分かれしていく。
Yeah, pretty much. Sorry if you're hearing barking. The neighbor's dogs are going crazy about the lawnmower or the mowing of lawns. The mowing of lawns of time is causing the barking of times. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying.
その枝の一つ一つにそれぞれ異なった世界が存在し、その世界の一つ一つにそれぞれ異なった自分が存在する。例えば、こんなことを考えたことはないか?
Yeah, I've thought of it.
もしも自分が A という高校ではなく B という高校に通っていたとしたら、どうなっていただろうと。
Yes, it's interesting because I actually was at that point in time where I'm thinking, like, what if I went to a high school further away from my actual house versus a school that's a little bit closer to my house, or going to school very close to my house versus a school that is a little distance away from that very close place. Like, there's been a lot of possibilities in my mind that I always think about. Like, what if I'm a woman? What if I was a crazy fool? What if I was in a different, like, family setting, I guess. Like, there were so many options that I just think about that I personally don't think about it, obviously, up front. I think about it when I'm, like, in my spare time, just, like, thinking, what would I've looked like? What if I think about? What have I been... What if I played this one game first before the other game? Like, what if I played this game after I finished playing a huge range of other games, I guess. Well, I am playing a lot of games outside of the recordings, of course, and I'm moving faster with those games than I am with this, in particular, in the recording. I mean, for me, I'm already at a point where, like, a lot of stuff, including, like, making YouTube channel and making this YouTube channel, changing the name of the YouTube channel, making an account for something with a different name, it was also an option on the table. I never really thought about what other names I would have came up with this channel, besides my own name that I've stuck by with, because I'm pretty sure that was like a guaranteed in my head that I was wanting to make it sound as similar to my real name as possible. But in all honesty, I think that the whole alternate universe kind of thing always has played a role in my head a little bit. What if I went out with that girl? What if I like went the other way with my sexuality, I guess, even though I'm not really that open to a different thing, personally, just saying. Like, there's just so many options on the table that you're just like, anything could be, and if you deny one of them, doesn't mean that your other self didn't deny it. It would have accepted it, in a sense. Like, if I said yes on one thing and no on the other, like, what would have happened then, kind of thing. There's so many interesting possibilities if you think about it, like, if you sat down to think about it. But if your limitation is that I don't want to think about it, just think about it, you know? Just sit down one day, just one full day would be fine. Or maybe take a jog, a walk on the street, in the park, whatever, and then contemplate about it, think about it, and then you'll probably get to a point where you're like, oh, that would have been interesting. That would have been... I should try this to see if I can still experience how close that is to whatever that is, kind of thing. It is fascinating to me, nonetheless. I do think that, like, we do have some tools to make us experience some things we don't really experience before. I remember there was, like, the... It's a weird topic, but I remember the little machine that you can wrap around your stomach to make you feel what a woman feels with the whole, like, period pain, I think it was called, or something like that. Which is incredible that it exists, yet it's also interesting to see that it exists out there, and it's a good product to help men specifically understand how women goes through their cycles, and it's kind of like, I think it's an important factor to understanding how people feel and what people go through every day or every month or something.
もしもあの時、あのクラブに入らなかったとしたら。
But overall, I'd say that yeah, it's just a lot to think about, I would say.
もしもあの時、大好きなあの子に告白しなかったとしたら。
Oh, yeah, I've thought about that too.
もしもあの時、もしもあの時、そのもしもは、果たして本当にもしもなのだろうか。あるいはどこか別の宇宙に、そのもしもの世界が存在するのではないか。というのが、多世界解釈のざっくりとしたあらましだ。ものすごく簡単に言うとな。
Yeah, it's just the shortness of what she can explain without having to go into...
ところで、私は今、わかりやすいように人間の行動を例にとって説明したが、世界が枝分かれしていく原因となるものは、何もそれだけに限ったものではない。
Yeah, like, actions, words, thoughts, situational events, like uncontrollable events, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think like a situational event. Death is definitely like a situational event, not an action for sure. Something like that.
動物の行動や昆虫の営み、微生物の動きや大気の揺らぎによっても歴史は変わっていく。
In a weird way, kind of like the Schrodinger's cat from the Cruise Quarter thing would definitely be that kind of thing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on there a second. Chotamate. I'll let the microorganism slide, but there's no way that air is conscious of anything.
では、お前には意志があると言えるのか？
What? 何？
お前の決断や行動のすべては、脳細胞の働きによって支配されている。さらにそれを細かく分解していくと、やがては素粒子に行き当たることになる。
Yeah, yeah. But it's not actions. It's more like... I wouldn't call atoms actionable. I think atoms are nature-based, so they're not really actions, but more like the nature of that, the nature results, the natures of the atoms and the electrons and smaller particles. Because I feel like the nature of it is more natural. When you say actions, is more nuanced, meaning like the atoms have a choice, which I don't think they have a choice per se. And it doesn't affect the greater thing in terms of just one microorganism or one atom. One atom does not control a lot, but many multiple atoms do. So I'd say that it's hard to say for sure if it's actions, but more like just the nature of those things being there.
それら素粒子の一つ一つの振る舞いが、お前の決断や行動に影響を与えていないとは言い切れない。だとすると、同じだろ？大気の揺らぎも、お前という人間の生命活動も。そもそも人間の存在とは、自然界の現象のうちの一つに過ぎないんだよ。お前が恋をすることと、チューリップが花を咲かせることとは同義であり、
I guess?
チューリップが花を咲かせることと、南米で竜巻が起こることも同じなんだ。
Okay, that's a little bit too dramatic.
大きな括りで言えば。
No, it's not. I don't think that's a good analogy. That sounds like a terrible analogy. And also, I don't feel like she said the tornado forming in South America. I don't think that's actually what they were saying, was it?
すべては素粒子の振る舞いによって変化していく。その一つ一つがどう動くかによって、歴史は変わり、世界は枝分かれしていくことになるんだ。
Alright, I'll end it here for now, because that's a lot of stuff going on anyways, and I want to kind of close it out with, like, I guess let me move a little bit, yeah.
おい、手が止まってるぞ。
Okay, that's a good spot to end it. I was just like, will we take a break? I need to take a break anyways. I need to take a little break because my nose is getting a little stuffy and I just need to clear it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Nobody Minds. Hope you guys have a great, amazing day. Good night to whenever watching this. Very impactful episode today. A lot of philosophical theory stuff, yet also very intriguing, mind-thinking kind of episode for sure. For me, head scratcher for sure. Which I didn't choose head scratching at all as an action choice in this episode. But next episode, let's go ahead and continue this conversation, whatever Fi needs to say. I don't really know where it will end here. I don't know if it will continue into a long branch like it did from the third playthrough, but I'm hoping to know what we'll figure out in the next episode. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in another one. Roz, out.